Why don't you start
Okay.
sharing with us what's going
Uh-huh.
on in San Diego?
So San Diego is a super, super hot market right now. I work with several buyers and everybody's asking me when will the price come down? And I don't see the end yet. So I want to share the audience I want to share with audience some key indicators to show you the San Diego market. So Kenny, if you could put the first slides on it, the average
Of course,
sales
of
price,
course,
that would
of
be great.
course. Why don't you start talking? The slide will be right there. Okay, the slide is right
No
here.
problem. So I like to show people a 10-year history. So you can see the price do come down slightly and goes up. But when you look far away, it's a straight line. And so there's a big, huge jump, for that was last year, right after the COVID. And then usually people will say, oh, in December, the price come down. Yes and or no. It's just because there's less house for sale and less luxury home for sale during the winter time. But you will see pretty much a dip every single year towards the end of the year. And then after January, the price go up again. So the average price it's increased by almost 20% from last year to this year. So that is crazy. I know how kind of investment can you make to make a 20% appreciation? Like that's almost unheard of. And that's why I always tell my clients, always buy real estate. Just like Warren Buffett has said himself, before you buy stock, always buy your first home. So, Kenny, if you go to the second slide, the second
Yeah,
slide is also a sales price, but we are looking at a different indicator. This is a median price, medium sales price. So medium sales price is lower than the average price, and that actually indicates San Diego probably has more luxury home, and so it bring up the price. But when you look at the 50%, the median price, it's 670,000, and it went up almost 15% from last year. So still, it's a significant increases. And again, this is also a 10 years, chart. And so besides the price, we want to look at the average market time. So Kenny, if you can go to the next slide. The next
yeah,
slide, you can
definitely.
see it's actually opposite, direction. So sales
It's
price
going
go up
down.
and the market price go down. Market daytime go down. Yeah,
Yeah.
significantly lower. So right now it's 29 days, and then it's a reduction of 25% from last year, which is pretty significant. And then the next slide I want to talk about is the inventory. Why is it
Inventory.
important to look at inventory? Um,
Well, it's
so
going
a
down
lot of my
still.
clients ask me, Jean, for sure, for sure. Everybody asks me, Jean, I don't see enough houses on the market. Everything I want to buy, people buy it before me. So they
Yeah.
were asking me, when the inventory is going to come back up. There's, I don't see it come back up anytime soon. Right now, we only have zero point 0.9 months of inventory in San Diego, and that is a reduce of 55%, so more than 50% than last year, which is crazy, and that's another reason why the price is not coming down, because the inventory is so low. So the next slide, if you can go down to the next one, it talk about the active listing. This one is also
Active
critical to look
listing.
at it. Again, this is also a 10-year chart. So you will see in the past 10 years, right now we have the lowest active listing. We only have 2,800 listing right now. When
Okay,
you
well,
look at
I'm
the peak of
having
market, we have almost 16,000. So yeah, so it's a way down. Right now, we like I said, we have less than 3,000 active listing, and that's why everybody is fighting and beating multiple offer situation. And then the next slide is also interesting. I want to point out is a new listing. And so after I talk about new listing, I'm going to share with you some of the things I did to help my buyer win the multiple offer situation. So the new listing is very similar to, the meaning is very similar to the active listing. I just want to show you, we don't have a lot of new listing. We only have 3,200 listings. When you look at previously, we at the top of the market, we on averages we should have about 5,000 listings every single month. Like that should be the case when you look at the previous history. But right now we have less than that. We only have 3,000. So much less than that. Um, so so Kenny, we're going to talk about the last slide later. But right now I want to kind of share my personal experiences with the audience on some of my buyer success stories, and then some of them are unsuccessful stories. So
Yeah,
let's talk about the successful stories.
of
Um,
course.
so I have a buyer who is actually going to close this Friday. And this is the one we have multiple offer situations. And they are some of the things I want to share, what we could do to help buyer to win their offer. And I have shared before, the first things, what I did for this deal is I reached out to the listing agents. I asked the listing agents, and this is the exact question I asked: what is important to the seller? And stop. And then let the listing agent tell you. Obviously, you could always ask, does the seller need seller rent back? Because, I recently submitted an offer and the listing agent was really appreciative. I called her because she said, um, I usually don't, this is what she said. She said, I usually don't accept offer if the buyer's agent don't call me because, usually the buyer's agent doesn't know what my seller needed. For example, if the house is vacant, why are you offer seller rent back? That's like a big no-no, right? No one need to live
That's
there. The house is vacant
why would you
already.
offer seller rent back when the house is vacant? That doesn't make any sense.
I know, but Kenny, you will be surprised. Sometimes agents don't think. And then another thing I help this particular buyer got the offer accepted. I did use the escalation clause. Escalation clause, it's literally just to say if someone's offer is higher than my offer, I'm willing to go, X dollar higher than that person. And sometimes we have an upper ceiling because we don't want the buyer to pay more than they can handle. So for this particular deal, my buyer actually was the one she really, really want to get this house. And so the escalation clause I didn't put my buyer's offer over the other offer. I just said I'm going to meet that particular offer, the highest one. And then, so because I know my buyer's criteria, qualification, my buyer is a cash buyer. And basically, she's going to close very fast. And then we don't have appraisal contingencies. We don't have loan contingency. We have a very, very short inspection contingency. And so that's why I was not worried about we need to beat another buyers. I just need to meet that price. And then also I have another secret weapon is I knew ahead of time, after asking the listing agent, the seller needs 3 months rent back. If you are an agent and you work with buyers who has loans, you probably know most of the lender will not approve seller rent back above 2 months. So the most they can get is 2 months rent back. My buyer
Hmm.
could do 3 months, so that's definitely a plus. But the thing is, after talking to my buyer, we did get the seller multiple counter offer after we submit the offer. However, the listing agents want to go with us. And so he said, just match the other person's offer, which is, I think it was $700,000 with 3 months rent back. My buyer at that time, she really preferred not to do a 3 months rent back because she want to move into her brand, new house. So we negotiated. We did actually increase the price to 705 with 2 months rent back, and so we got the house, and so we are closing, this Friday. But
Oh,
another
that's
thing,
exciting.
another thing I want to share is, yeah. For sure, this is probably one of the shortest one I did. We opened escrow last Monday. We're closing this Friday. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
less than 14 days. I think how many days is that? 12
Yeah,
days?
that's real
My math
fast. Oh
is
my
not
God.
very good. But yeah, but buyers so excited. We are very excited. So another tip I want to share, I think this is the one actually there are two more things I want to share. It's like you need to be very, very quick. And I think Kenny, last time one of the webinar we discussed, I say I always like to be like the first few people who to see the house with my buyer. And you ask me why. And here's the things with the hot market right now, listing agents are bombarded with so many showing requests. I have a listing agent told me they get 100 showing requests just for the 2 days on the weekends. And so they couldn't keep up with so much demand. And then also I have heard after the first not open house, after the first day of showing, they say on Saturday, they might already receive 20 offers. For them, sometimes the seller just don't want to deal with any more showings if they live in the house. So they might actually cancel Sunday's showing. And that actually happened to me. I remember one of the
Oh,
buyers I set up showing, she couldn't view it on the weekend. She need to view it on Monday.
I
And that's the
know. Yeah.
this is kind of what I see the cycle now. Yeah. So this is kind of what I observe on the market. Typically, the listing agents are putting the house as a coming soon, maybe a week or 2 weeks ahead of time. And then they turn on the switches and have the listing go live on Thursday. And then they start showing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the offer is due sometimes on Sunday night, sometimes on Monday. And then literally they open escrow on Monday. This is I have a lot of offers are like that right now. Like literally, people don't wait. That's why you need to be very, very quick. For the
Mm.
buyer, I had one particular buyer. She couldn't see her houses on the weekends. She unfortunately haven't get any of her offer accepted. In fact, we are having hard time even submitting the offer because all the houses she want to see, they usually go into escrow on Monday, and that's
Mm.
when she want to see the house. So that's a
Okay.
tricky one. Another things I want to share is when you submit when I help my buyer submit the offer, um, you need to be very, very aggressive. What I meant by that is the listing price right now. Um, Sometimes they are buyer need to add $100,000, $150,000 even, just to get their offer accepted. So the listing price, it's kind of a teaser price now. It's really not the price is going to get your offer accepted. So I will say basically the win for the buyer now is not to get a bargain, it's not to get a discount. The win is to actually get the house. And so if you keep that in mind, that will help you to get the offer. And how can you help buyer prepare to increase their offer? There's
All
something
right, we
called
can talk
ladder,
about that
ladder strategy. I don't know you have on that.
are we going
Sure.
to talk about that when we conclude today's presentation. Thank you so much, Jim, for sharing with us. During the pandemic and in the bidding war, what kind of advice or suggestions would you give to prospective buyers in your respective areas? Let's start with Jim Riley.
Okay, so I share quite a few already, but I have one more I can share, which is I know a lot of time people, well, not everybody writes sellers later to the seller. We call it love later. And the reason why it's important is you are trying to find some similarity between you and the sellers. I actually almost got one of the buyers offer accepted. The seller was willing to sell it to us for $100,000 less than the highest offer because the seller later, and then also for that one, we did the video. And so a lot of people do seller later, but not everybody do video. And if you could do a video, that might actually set your offer apart than other people. So don't be camera shy. Just be yourself and talk about. Usually, it's a very short video. Talk about maybe why you love the house so much, and then talk about the reason, and then just be yourself. And that's the tip I have.
All right. Thank you so much for your advice.